Audio rolling.
Camera's rolling. Camera 2 rolling.
Audio's rolling.
Alright, ready? Hi, I'm Sarah Lynn Bruns. I go to Heritage Woods Secondary in Port Moody, British Columbia. I'm in grade 11 right now. And right now I'm here with Carol Todd, Amanda Todd's mom. And today's Pink Shirt Day, so we're going to be talking about Amanda. Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Good. Do you want to tell us a little about Amanda, her likes, what you admired about her?
Well, Amanda was your typical teenage girl, and she was 15. She was about to turn 16 shortly before she died. She liked everything that a normal teenager would like to do, and when she was little, she had all these life experiences and activities like a typical child would. She played soccer, which she didn't like, and she figure skated. She played ice hockey. She swam. Her last sport was cheerleading, and she also loved to sing, as you might have watched in some of the YouTube videos that have been posted with her. And she was actually getting back into singing, and she was ready to start vocal lessons again shortly before she died. So that's when I knew that there was a part of her that was getting better, because she hadn't sang for about a year, and then she was ready to start doing all those things again.
So would you say she was just a regular teenage girl using the internet as one would?
I think it all started out that way when the internet came into play, and social media and Facebook, and kids will be kids, and they went in doing it, and then they eventually felt that, or she didn't know of all the dangers that lurked on the internet. And then as things came up and we tried to explain it to her, some of it she took in. I talked to her and her friends, and some of it they ignored because they didn't think anything like that. The dangers could happen to them. It's like when we teach kids, young kids, about stranger danger. There's a different kind of stranger danger out there with internet safety that probably needs to be talked about a lot more at an early age.
So would you say that Amanda liked going to school?
She liked going to school because she liked being social. She liked having her friends. However, school was a challenge to her because she had some learning disabilities, which hindered her ability to understand subject matter.
So I know that there's a lot of people who are struggling with cyberbullying, especially youth. Is there anything you want to say to them or tell them that would maybe help them?
You know, it's funny that you talk about that, because last week I came to your school and I talked in front of your whole student body of 1,400 kids, and in an assembly for Emotions Week, and I had my words planned out for them, and my speech was directed to youth.
Yes. And
at the very beginning, I started it, and what my words were, and I have to read them out because I had so many words. We have to make sure that those that are being bullied and cyberbullied speak up, and that those who see it happening speak up for the others that can't. We have to disempower those who are exhibiting the bullying behaviors, because those behaviors are what is detrimental to the kids today.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah. Is there anything that, like, parents or so, maybe there shouldn't be any fear? I know that, because you really need to be assertive and when it comes to bullying.
You have to be able to stand up for
Yes.
what you believe is being done wrongfully to yourself. And also the people that are around you, your friends, they need to stand up for when they see people being bullied or cyberbullied.
Like
also.
having a support group.
Having a support group,
Yeah.
because that's really your network of friends.
Yes.
You can't do it alone, because as I believe what happens sometimes is you can go to bed as a teenager and everything's fine. And then you have an argument with your best friend or a boyfriend, or someone doesn't like something that you do, and because of the internet now and social media, Facebook, Twitter, what other sources kids use, you can wake up and your whole life could be in turmoil. You wake up and it just takes one person to say something And of course with Facebook, you have, the average teenager has over 400 friends. And
Yeah.
I've seen teenagers' Facebooks that have over 1,000 friends.
Even
So
more, yeah.
if you post it up there and your 400 to 1,000 people know, well, they also have 400 friends. So if you do your math, it quickly multiplies.
The news spreads
Yes.
really fast.
And then
yeah.
your picture's there and your name's there, and
Mhm.
whatever is posted, whether it's true or not true, it's out there for everyone to see, and it can be embarrassing whether it's true or not. So
Yeah.
what kids are doing is anonymously they're hiding behind a screen and saying hurtful things, and those hurtful things embed themselves into someone's brain and into their emotions. Those things can't be taken away.
No.
It takes a real strength in someone to ignore it, but
It's really difficult, and it can happen overnight too. It can
Mhm.
it takes seconds, minutes just to
Oh.
have it done.
definitely, you can have 1,000 positive comments made to you and glow in them, and you can have one hurtful comment made to you and you'll remember that one
For
forever.
always. Yeah.
And those are the things that, as teenagers today, youth today, you guys need to make an effort to make a difference and stop them and
Yes.
educate.
Yeah. So, how do you think people should respond when they see cyberbullying happen? I mean, I'm sure like everyone would agree that like you see it a lot. How should they respond? How can they stop it?
If you're a young person that's being cyberbullied, or if you know of someone being cyberbullied, the rule of thumb is to tell someone. You can tell
Yes.
a trusted adult, or you could tell a friend who is going to tell an adult if
And
you don't
help
want to
you.
tell an adult yourself. Every person that's young, like yourself, should have 3 to 5 trusted adults that you could turn to if you needed to talk to someone. Communication and openness is a huge thing, and as adults, we need to be non-judgmental in whatever you guys share with us, so that you will talk to us, because we can help you,
Yeah.
right? So teachers, parents, if you go to church, your pastor, a youth worker,
Counselors at
counselors,
schools.
your coach,
Yeah.
if you're in activity, anyone that you can trust enough to talk to and that can help you. Because if you don't go for the help, then living whatever you're going through with cyberbullying by yourself is going to be so hard.
Yeah.
And you have to reach out. And that's the new buzzword when you hear people talk. They're reaching out to people, and that's what kids and young people need to do. Reach out to somebody you
Yeah.
can trust.
Do you have any other advice to give people who are being cyberbullied or have a friend that is being cyberbullied?
Well, after they've told someone, I think that one of the best things they can do is document everything. So you can document by taking screenshots of whatever is being sent or said about you, and you save
Yeah.
it in a separate file. Have names and dates and times, and so that you can hand them in to, if it gets so severe that you have to report it to your school principal or your school liaison officer, your RCMP, you have all that documentation there. And if the cyberbully knows that you're keeping this stuff, they are probably
Likely to
stop.
Yes. I just want to ask, what would you say to someone who says, oh, something like what happened to Amanda could never happen to me or could never happen to someone else? What would you say to them?
It could happen. It can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
We get up in the morning and we go to school or we go to work, and then you read tragic stories of people in car accidents. You can never predict what's going to happen to you. It could happen even with all the safeguards. You just let your guard down, and something or someone can say something to you that's hurtful. I mean, Amanda had a big story, and she had an online predator, and she had physical bullying, she had cyberbullying. She never looked for it as a teenager, and as you guys all know, you guys are looking for friends out there, and
You never
she
look
didn't
for
know
bullying.
who to trust or who not to trust, because it came out that this person, pretended they were a teenager.
So typically, a lot of teenagers believe that their parents don't really understand technology or the whole entire extreme development of the internet. What do you say about that?
I can best say it in the words that I've written here. And I'm
Okay.
going to read them to you because those are things that, it's words that I've put thought into.
All right.
So my words to that answer would be, we as adults and parents only want what is best for our children, and as your teachers, we want what is best for our students. You might think that your parents are old-fashioned and they don't understand. They understand more than you think. We are probably the generation of parents that thought we were prepared to raise and understand you, but then technology came and threw us a curveball. As parents, we want to help you. We want to listen to you. We want you to share things with us. So as kids, my suggestion would be, talk to your parents, share things with them. Time is so short. You never know what will happen next. I never knew what would happen to me, and I never knew what would, and I'm sure Amanda didn't know what would happen to her. So you have to love your friends. You have to be nice to them. You have to smother the world, your community, your school, and your friends with kindness.
So what would you say that Amanda would tell the youth now about cyberbullying? What would she say, do you think?
I think her message to youth now, if she were alive, would be to be careful of what is on the internet. Be careful of what you might find, what you might do, because the internet leaves a digital footprint that cannot be erased, and that can come to haunt you as a person forever. Not being aware of what's out there, you have to look forward to when you're an older teenager and you're out looking for work, and if you Google your name, what's going to pop up
Yeah.
with your name. And so it's about all those safety measures we talked about before,
Yeah.
that kids need to know about before they actually go ahead and do something that they're going to regret, and that ultimately will harm them for a very long time.
Yeah, I really agree with that. So at the assembly, I remember you telling us about the penny story. And Amanda, could you please tell that one again?
Well, the penny story originated one of our last fun weekends together, and then we were walking along a street, and she saw, or we both saw a coin lying on the ground, and I thought she was going to bend over and pick it up and put it in her pocket. Instead, she flipped it over, and I asked her why she did that, and she said, because when you see coins on the ground, Mom, you flip them over, you make a wish, and you hope your wish comes true, and then the next person who comes along can do the same thing, and so it would just be a lucky coin, wish, penny, nickel, dime thing.
Yeah.
And then a funny story happened at the end of her second memorial service, and I had a friend come rushing up to me, and he handed me a quarter, and I'm like, why are you handing me this quarter? And he said, well, yesterday I was walking on the road and I saw a quarter and I picked it up and put it in my pocket, but I feel so bad for keeping it in my pocket now, so I'm giving it to you, and you can put it down and you can start making the wish and starting the flip cycle all over again. And so I just think it's a really neat story, and how we as people can just continue to do a good motion instead of being semi-selfish and picking up coins
but
to spend.
Yeah, continuing the happiness, and yeah,
Mhm.
that is so
So now I have a
nice.
whole bunch of people who tell me penny stories and nickel
Yeah.
stories, and even in Dubai, I had a friend go over there, and
Really?
he saw a coin in the elevator, and he flipped it over, and but he had to share this story, so he shared it back home with us here over the internet,
Yeah.
and it was just neat that the cycle continues everywhere.
So what would you say is the big difference between, let's say, cyberbullying and physical bullying? What's the big difference there?
In my words, the physical bullying has to happen. It's face-to-face bullying. It's in real time. It's going up to someone and hurting them physically, and it could happen in hallways, or you're whispering something. With cyberbullying, it happens using social media and technology tools and your cell phones, and it doesn't become face-to-face anymore. It's not eyeball to eyeball. It can be more lasting because it stays in print, and others can see it, or the person who's being cyberbullied can happen to read it over and over again, and it becomes ingrained in your memory as hurt. And emotional hurt is horrible. It's not like in the old days when, you know, you wrote a note and said to someone, I don't like you, I hate you, and you could rip up the note and throw it away and never see it again.
Yeah.
But with things on the internet, it's there and it's replicated and it's distributed, and it's just not a good way. So.
And it's always there too, right?
Mhm.
And people hide behind the computer and expect that that's their protection. Yeah.
And it becomes immortalized.
Yeah.
Digitally.
Yes. What would you say to people who unfairly judge Amanda's story and her situation?
To the people who bullied her and cyberbullied her, I just read an article actually written by Phoebe Prince's dad a few years ago, and she was a girl who committed suicide, and she was bullied also. And his statement was, I'm not out for revenge for those people who bullied her. Same message that I would send. I feel terribly sorry for those children, for the youth that bullied my daughter. I hope that they've learned a lesson, and I hope that they can change their behaviors and understand that bullying and cyberbullying are not okay behaviors to have in the world, and that they have learned enough to treat others with respect. And the one thing that just sort of, you know, resonates is that what you want your children, how you want your children to be treated when you have children. So if you're a typical 15-year-old person and 15 years from now you will probably have children, how do you want them treated in the world?
Yeah.
And so
You want it
treat
to
the
change.
world now as you want your own children treated later.
Yeah.
And so to those people that weren't very nice to Amanda, I just hope that they've learned a lesson and that they can be people to move forward with the message that we have to be kind and respectful to others.
And we really need to put a stop to bullying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. On behalf of this crew, the youth of this school, the youth of this community, and anyone else who's watching this, we just want to thank you. Thank you for sharing your story about Amanda and just taking the time. We realize how difficult it is, and we really do appreciate it.
You're so very welcome.
Amanda Todd has a legacy which supports the anti-bullying awareness and youth mental health. If you want to know any more information about it or just help out, just go to amandatoddlegacy.org. I'm Sarah Lynn from Heritage Woods, and thank you for watching.